Fix a reinforced button on garment. A reinforced button is a flat button attached at points where buttons take a lot of strain and show the tendency to come off. These days, people prefer to have reinforced buttons in their garments, and it is recommended for an aspiring tailor to learn how to fix a reinforced button. Objective: at the end of this class, you'll be able to fix a reinforced button on a garment. Let us first familiarise with the tools and the materials that you would need to fix a reinforced button on a sample piece of fabric. You would need a button with 4 holes, a smaller button, thread, needle, thimble, a piece of fabric and a pair of small scissors. Now let's watch how to fix a reinforced button on a sample piece of fabric. Step 1. Thread the needle and pull the thread halfway through so that the 2 ends meet. Then tie a knot at the end of the double thread. Please note, we are using a thread of contrasting colour for demonstration purposes alone. In real life, you must select a thread that matches the colour of the button and the garment. Step 2. Sew through the fabric. Enter the needle through the front of the fabric at the position where you want to fix the button. Go through all layers to give it a secure base. Then sew back up through the fabric. Step 3. Position the button and fix it. Place the 4-hole button through the point of the needle. Go up through the button and back down through the opposite hole and through the back of the fabric. At the back side, enter through the buttonhole of the smaller button for reinforcement and back up to the front of the garment. Don't pull the thread tightly. Instead, leave a gap between the button and the fabric. This gap needs to be bigger if the fabric is thicker. Again, enter the needle from behind, through the fabric, through the one buttonhole and back down through the other buttonhole and into the fabric. Repeat twice the loop through the fabric and the buttons, each time catching the 2 diagonal pairs of holes. Step 4. Create a shank. After your 4th round, pass the needle from the back of the cloth to the front again, but this time don't go through the button. Instead, wrap the thread around the loose threads in the gap. Like this, you will create a shank. The shank is like a trunk that holds the button up. Step 5. Finish fixing the button. Pull the needle through the shank 4 times and back through the fabric. Now snip the end of the thread so that you don't have anything hanging, and that's basically how you sew on a button. With that, we come to the end of this class. Let's recall what we have learnt. You learned how to fix a reinforced button. Let's review its basic steps. Step 1. Thread the needle. Step 2. Sew through the fabric. Step 3. Position the button and fix it. Step 4. Create a shank. Step 5. Finish fixing the button. You have now learned how to fix a reinforced button. Take our next class to learn how to fix a shank button.